August the 8th. Start with where the world is. Do now what nature demands of you. Get right to it if that's in your power. Don't look around to see if people will know about it. Don't await the perfection of Plato's Republic, but be satisfied with even the smallest step forward and regard the outcome as a small thing. Marcus Aurelius. Meditations 9.29 brackets 4. Have you ever heard the expression, don't let perfect be the enemy of good enough? Don't let perfect be the enemy of good enough. The idea is not to settle or compromise your standards, but rather not to become trapped by idealism. The community organizer, Saul Alinsky, opened his book, Rules for Radicals, with a pragmatic but inspiring articulation of that idea. As an organizer, I start from where the world is, as it is, not as I would like it to be. That we accept the world as it is does not in any sense weaken our desire to change it into what we believe it should be. It is necessary to begin where the world is if we are going to change it to what we think it should be. There is plenty that you could do right now, today, that would make the world a better place. There are plenty of small steps that, were you to take them, would help move things forward. Don't excuse yourself from doing them because the conditions aren't right or because a better opportunity might come along soon. Do what you can now, and then you've done it. Keep it in perspective. Don't overblow the results. Shun both ego and excuses before and after. Start with where the world is. Idealism is an energy that we have the idea. We are in stage of idealism, stage of idea. But then we tell ourselves, yeah, that's a really good idea. Maybe I'll start that tomorrow, or maybe I'll do it next week, or maybe I'll wait until that situation or condition changes. out there. We wait for perfect. We think that something is going to come along, that it's going to, and then I'll do it. So it's removing and then I'll do it from our, it's accepting and becoming aware of the energy that, and then I'll do it. When that is there, then I'll do it. This is what, and there's plenty of things, small things we could all be doing right now. If we sit down and think about the opportunities, small opportunities that we have, just to make a person smile. But most people are waiting for other people to take their inspired action. We are, as an organizer, I start from where the world is, not where so the notion that, maybe a sense of guilt that if I want to change something, then I'm saying something isn't right. And in spiritual work, it takes some reflection that we're not changing things because we think it should be a certain way. We're changing things because we think it will be a better place if we took that action. And it's removing the word should, because the world is perfect now. The world doesn't need us. But the ideas we have can make it better. And that's the work. We accept now. We accept now, but we don't let the energy prevent us from doing what we feels right, taking the action, the inspired action. And it's inspired, it's not motivational. Inspiring energy. It's not using the motivational drives of, oh, that thing shouldn't be. Most people, and it works for a lot of people, say to themselves, I don't want that to be I don't like that, so I'm going to change it. So that's a different energy, that's motivation energy. I don't like the way that thing is, so I'm going to change it. So that's not acceptance, that's attachment, that's fear, that's lack. We say to ourselves, when we say to ourselves, that shouldn't be like that, that person shouldn't be like that. And we use the motivation as energy. And yes, we get the results most of the time. But the energy of the inspiring action, energy accepts that person or that situation or condition and changes it from inspired. But we're not attached or dependent on the thing changing. We're moving because we think it'll better if it's changed, but we're not dependent on we're not measuring the success by it changing. We're measuring the success based on us doing what we think's right. That's how we're measuring how we feel. Like how we feel about certain. So it's not like it's turning our attention in. It's not looking at that, oh, it's been a failure because there's been no outcome. Most of us measure our actions based on outcomes and results. And if, for example, in a football match, a team may play the greatest match the best match they played and lose. And but then the accepting of the accepting energy says we did our best. The result, the outcome is immaterial because we did our best. Or you might get some teams who are just disappointed because they lost. And yes, the world, the social conditioning, the social is all is training to results and what we have and out there. The world doesn't accept people. The world wants to change. The world, capitalism, politics, power, big companies, they survive by problems. So they need problems. Without problems, without drawing out their customers' attention, their potential customer on the problem, they cannot survive. That's how their mechanism works, by drawing people's attention who are not accepting. The world, the powers don't want us to accept people. The world, people control survives with the energy of things aren't right. This is why most of the news is bad news. It's negative news because society doesn't turn in, and they're focused out on problems and lack of acceptance. And this person is doing this and it's bad. They're creating a duality. But the Stoics believe in accepting. No, nothing has to change. Nothing has to change. The result is not there. The result is us doing the right thing at the right time, being a good person, moving with our calling and inspiration. And yeah, as this offer, it doesn't just because we desire to change, just because we are accepting people for who they are. Another example is you might like a girl. You might look up, you might walk around and you might see a girl or a male, girl or a boy in a pub or a bar or wherever people meet. And you think, oh, I like that girl or that boy. And we might tell ourselves, well, I'll ask this person out. And then, but if she says no, it's not worked. So it's like accepting that person might say yes or no. That is not what we're looking for. We're looking because we are loving that person for who they are. Whether they say yes or no is irrelevant. We just have the inspiration, we have the calling to do it. And if we're in that energy, the male or female maybe feel more safe saying yes. But if we're moving, it's like everything. If we're moving in a way, saying to ourselves, that thing shouldn't be like that. It's less likely to change in the long term. It's not sustainable. And it's painful. Painful, it's serenity. It's painful to see, to watch things to give all your energy and power and emotion to something changing or someone doing something for, for it to feel success, feel content. But it's all in here. But it's a work, it's step by step, one day at a time. So we can reflect on this and we can move one step closer. Now move for pragmatism. Start with where the world is. Just walk around today and just practice all of that and just watch and just appreciate and accept. Enjoy the day, my friend.